All right, when you are ready, wonderful humans, go ahead and find your seat. I'm using a couch today. You can use any seat that you like. As long as it doesn't have arms or wheels, we should be good to go. And as you take your seat, you're just gonna shimmy towards the edge of it until your sits bones, your butt cheeks are fully planted, but your thighs have some room, right? All right. So feeling those sits bones melt down, feeling the pads of your feet anchor into the earth. You might even give those toes a wiggle and then relax them. And then to become present in the body, let's do some shoulder rolls with the breath. So on an inhale, big and slow, we're gonna roll the shoulders forward and up. As you exhale, squeeze them back and roll them down. So inhale, forward and up. Exhale, back and down. Find your big roll. You might roll the shoulders. You might bring the arms up as well if you want to explore the shoulder sockets. Decide what feels good for you once or twice more in this direction. And then pause, switch directions. My directions this morning are directioning. So, all right, moving with your breath, big, slow circles, any which way that feels good. Using those inhales as an opportunity to really fill the belly deep down behind the belly button, and the exhales to let it all go. 2 more. Wherever you're at, whatever it looks like. Beautiful. Let's get into the neck. So on an inhale, we're gonna sweep both arms skyward. Ooh. As you exhale, that right arm lowers. That left arm is gonna reach over towards that left side. And you're gonna let that right ear hang heavy towards the earth. So the head hangs. Whew. Those left fingertips reach. And then on an inhale, sweep those arms skyward, switch directions, left arm falls, those right fingertips reach. And then when you're ready, let the head hang heavy. Let your jaw relax. Let your tongue soften in your mouth. Inhale, rise up to your neutral seat. And then once more, you're gonna let that right ear fall towards the right shoulder. You might even bring that right hand up to weight the head heavy. Really just letting the ear hang towards that shoulder as you soften the shoulders towards the earth. And then I really enjoy taking my left arm and reaching those fingertips down towards the earth just to get a little extra stretch along the length of the neck. And you might even take those left fingertips and play with them, right? Notice how this tension changes and shifts as you sweep your arm out to the side and then back down, right? These subtle shifts create such change within the body. And when we take the time to notice them, there's deep healing and awareness happening here. So with the head hung heavy, you might rotate your gaze, turn it down towards the earth. And then rotate it skyward. Just a nice slow rotation of the muscles of the neck, only as far as the head wants to go. And then back on down, gazing down towards the earth. A real slow back and forth, pausing anywhere that the neck says, oh, please, right? Anywhere where tension has made a home, lengthen there, soften there a moment, pause and be. Breathe space into that place. And then when you're ready, and only then, continue the slow rotation, gazing down and then back up. We'll do this for 5 or so more seconds. Really playing with it. It's not about how it looks. It's not about if it's just like mine. It's about how does it feel inside of you. Can you notice the shifts? Can you make it feel a little extra delicious to meet your needs? And then only when you are done, let the head slowly float upright. Pause, feel, that's a lot of neck work, a lot of vagal toning, and then let's switch sides. When you're ready, oh, my neck is talking to me. That left ear gently falls towards that left shoulder. Give it a moment. Let the right side of the neck lengthen. And then maybe you use that left hand as a weight. Maybe not, you choose. Let's take this opportunity to breathe deep into the space behind your belly button. Let that breath go messy, right? Let the side of your neck lengthen. You might play with that right arm, pressing through those fingertips. Getting to know ourselves in this moment. Feeling any subtle changes you might notice as you shift. And then when you're ready, slowly rotate that gaze down towards the earth. And you might notice that the weight of my hand shifts from the side of my head to the back of my head as I'm gazing down towards the earth. So I'm using this left arm here as a weight, but only when I want it. And then turning the head skyward. And then back and forth slowly at the pace that your neck and shoulders say yes, please, to. Hanging out, in any sticky spots. Maybe you notice all the noises, the shifting, the popping, the bubbling, all sorts of things to hear and be present with inside your own body. Taking your time, and then when you're ready, slowly let that head float upright. Relax your jaw and shoulders. Feel the work you've done to soften and be here. All right. We're going to get down into the hips because really this class is about the Sthana, which is your sacral chakra, so the area of your pelvis. You might take one hand to the front of the pelvis, just below the belly button, and then one hand to the lumbar spine, so the low back and the sacral spine there, just above the tailbone. And this space between the hands is your sacral chakra, right? It's 3D. You might shift your hands now to the hips. This space between your hips here is your sacral chakra, right? You are a 3D creature. And we're going to be loving on the entirety of the pelvis here for the next 20 minutes. So maybe you keep your hands on your hips or your pelvis. Maybe you rest on the top of your thighs. This is going to bring a lot of awareness, so don't be too quick to move on. But from a seated posture, let's move into some pelvic cat-cow. So on an exhale, press through the pads of your feet, and you're going to use that pressure to curl that tailbone up towards the heart, right? Using the hands can really just create some feedback for the mind. What you notice here as you hold the pressure in your feet is that the low back has rounded and lengthened to tip the pelvic bowl. The low belly has contracted, right, and lifted to hold this. And you're pressing through the legs to engage that, right? Focusing on the effort in the pelvis. Take a moment here. Let effort build, even though it's subtle, even though it's little, My sister's over there practicing and she's like, it's not subtle. Even though it's not subtle. When you're ready, soften to the neutral spine and posture once more. Relax the low belly. It's done some work. Let's find an opposite tilt. So instead of curling the tailbone up, we're going to press it down towards the earth, right? And the low back curls skyward now. So what we find is the opposite. The front belly, instead of contracting up, is now lengthened. And the back body has shortened. Okay, our pelvic bowl has tilted. This is beautiful work to become aware. The simple awareness of what happens here is powerful for healing. So let the belly hang. Breathe in deep into it. This is cow pose, right? This is Bidalasana. Each deep breath into the space where we carry shame so often is freedom. So breathe it in. Down into the lowest parts of your belly. Let it drop down towards the earth as that low back arches. You can even brace the hands on the knees to pull the heart and the belly forward as you squeeze those shoulder blades back a little bit. Really just inviting the arch to the low back and some space to the low belly. All right, so big movements here. Relax and soften into neutral. Let's find a rock back and forth. So press into your feet, curl up, right? And then on your next inhale, rock forward, open that pelvic bowl forward. Exhale, press through the feet, curl up. Inhale, rock forward and open. And you're focusing your movement on the pelvic bowl alone. Right? Back and forth. We did this laying down, a version of it on Monday, and it feels so subtle, right? But you are building strength. You are releasing tension and all of that coming with deep awareness. Do not discount this work because you don't see it happening in mainstream media, right? A few times back and forth. And then when you're ready, soften into neutral. So the pelvis, right, tilts forward and back, and it also tilts side to side. So let's play with some side to side work. Let's focus on our left hip here. When you're ready, we're gonna shift that left hip up towards that left armpit and let it be messy. You're like, I don't know how to do that. Cool, just imagine you're taking a little shift. The left side body shortens, the right side body lengthens, right? Just like in our pelvic tilts, one side shortened, one side lengthened. Your body is no different doing this. One side shortens, one side lengthens. You might notice as you shift this left hip up that you're also pressing pretty strong through that pad of that left foot. Just notice. Okay, feel the effort build. Where does the heat, where does the effort rise in your body? Can you soften your jaw, your tongue, and your shoulders while you notice? And then soften into a neutral posture. Relax, let it out. Switch sides, that left hip up towards that left armpit. We're pressing strong into that left foot as we do it. And then imagining or feeling the length along the opposite side. Excuse me, this is the right, this is the left. We all do our best with what we can, right? So we're shifting, whoop, that hip up towards the armpit. Breathe into your body as you press down through that right foot anchor and then soften into neutral. Y'all know what's next. Back and forth. Move with your breath. So inhale one way, exhale the other. It can be nice to have the feedback of the hands on the hips because this movement is so subtle in the body. This left and right shifting of the hips back and forth. And you're just going to notice as you shift, the effort goes from one leg to the other. Maybe from one sit bone or butt cheek to the other. Like we talked about on Monday, there are so many different layers that you can bring your awareness to. And it's not one layer more important than the other. Every layer brings healing and connection. When you're ready, soften. We're gonna find big circles now, but we're gonna play with it. So with your hands on the hips, we're gonna find our front and back rock, right? Pressing through the feet, curling the tailbone up on the exhale. Inhale, open forward, right? We know this. Front and back. Then we're gonna mix it up. So front, back, front, back, left, or right, left, whatever works for you, right, left, front, back, left, right, back, front. Play with it. If your mind's like, I don't know what's happening, do cool circles. Let's do them now. Pelvic bowl rolls. Let it be messy and fun. The more we bring movement and awareness to the pelvic bowl in our body, the more we're opening up the sacral chakra, right? We're just allowing energy to flow through this area. And neuroscience would be like, this is vagal toning. You're getting into the ventral vagal nerves here in the pelvis and also the dorsal vagal nerves here. So when we engage them with awareness, we are training them to become more fluid in our everyday life. So we might get stuck in overwhelm now, but as we vagal tone, as we work these nerves with awareness, we create more fluidity so that we don't get stuck in overwhelm anymore. We experience it and we flow in and out because life is meant to be a flow. Switch directions because, balance if you haven't yet. I get that talking, And then soften into stillness. Okay, from here, we're going to heel toe the feet out wide. Goddess pose. The knees are tracking with the toes, so take a moment to find where your toes and your knees are. And then we're gonna do that pelvic cat-cow again. You ready? I'm gonna use my hands as feedback from my pelvic bowl. On an exhale, press through the feet, curl it up. Inhale, open, rock forward. Whoo! As you do this, keep those knees open. We're opening through the inner thighs. This is working different muscles now. Welcome, welcome. I'm talking to all the muscles that weren't here for this cat-cow before. All right. A few more just like this. You might find your pelvic bowl roll in one direction. Let it be juicy. And then a pelvic bowl roll in the other direction. Really just focusing your movement on unleashing the power of your pelvis, which is where your identity, right? The creativity, your passion comes from. This is where we fearlessly show up as ourselves and know that if other people don't like it, it's not because it's not fucking awesome, right? It's just because it's not their jam. When you are ready, we're going to slide our right hand or arm, back of our right arm, down that inner right thigh. On an inhale, sweep that left arm open. Let your gaze follow it. And then as you do this, really stretch the arms out wide, squeeze those shoulder blades together, let the heart center open. And then on an exhale, lower that left arm down, slowly pressing through the feet. We're gonna switch sides. Take it slow, anchor the back of that left arm. Inhale, sweep the right arm open. Again, squeeze those shoulder blades. Let that heart pump forward as those fingertips stretch out and long. And then exhale, lower that right arm. Switch sides. On an inhale of your choice, open. Exhale, close. Switch sides. Brace on an inhale, open. Exhale, close. Switch sides. We're going to do this once more to either side, pressing through the feet strong as you shift from side to side, right? As we anchor through the feet, it supports the low back and the pelvis. And then on each inhale, we're squeezing those shoulder blades, opening up the heart. And then on your next exhale, close it up. You might take this opportunity for a forward fold if you've got blocks or a chair, if that feels nice. And you want to drop that head down. You can even keep your hands atop the thighs. Just let the heart and the belly and the head melt. And then curl it up nice and slow, nice and slow. Let's heel toe those feet back together. Let's do, for the next 8 or so, some seated sun salutations. So just some classical heated work that we normally do. And then as we do it, can you really focus on the pelvic bowl? So each of these movements that we flow through, you might normally be feeling in the low back or the shoulders, but no matter where you are in your flow, each time you remember, just touch base, become aware, how does the pelvic bowl feel? What's it doing in this moment? What sensations arise? So that we can continue to create awareness here throughout the rest of our practice. So from your Tadasana, planting the pads of the feet, on an inhale, you might sweep your arms out and up. As you exhale, fold forward. Again, you might keep the palms atop the thighs. You might let them hang. On an inhale of your choice, we find flat back. So we lengthen through the spine, pressing down through the tailbone, pressing long to the top of the head. And then you might even press the palms against the shins so that you can lengthen even more through the spine. So I'm using this as roots so that I can press through the top of my head. Feel that length all along the back body. And then on your next exhale, find your fold once more. Inhale, pressing down through the feet, rise up tall. We lengthen the legs out to find our chaturanga. This is our plank pose. So feet and legs out long. We're going to slowly lean back in our seat. And you can keep arms extended. You might bring them to Anjali Mudra. You decide, but we're holding this for 5 big breaths, and here's the deal. The body is going to want to clench, soften. The body is going to want to shake, let it. Breathe softness into that shake and shimmy, because that is extra energy stuck in the body that you are releasing. We're like, oh, it's weakness. No, baby. Not at all. Another breath or two just like this. And then from our plank, we move into cobra. So we sit up tall. We're going to press our thumbs back behind us as we press the heart forward. So rounding, arching that low back. Opening up through the heart center. And as your thumbs press back, the rest of those fingertips lengthen skyward. So does the head. Right? That spine stays nice and long in this arched back cobra. And then from here, we'll move into down dog. So straighten that spine out in your seat and then slowly lean forward, finding this V shape with your body. Breathe and hold. Our plank strengthens that front body. Downward dog here begins to strengthen the back body. You might just notice where sensation arises as we hang out in stillness for a moment. And then on an inhale, we're going to rise up, bend the knees, palms together towards the heart center. There we go. All right, let's move through this twice more. I'm going to cue it at the pace of my breath, but go at the pace of yours. On an inhale, sweep the arms out and up. Exhale, find your fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold once more. Inhale, rise all the way up. Find your chaturanga plank. Shake it out, 5 big breaths. How deep can you fill the body with air, with breath while you hold this? Can you keep your jaw soft as you do it? Unafraid of the shaking, unafraid of that thing that people said you should be ashamed about? Hell no. On your next breath in, rise to cobra, arch that low back, lift through the head and the heart. Hold for a breath or two if it feels nice. And then exhale, downward dog when you're ready. Take your time. We'll hold this as well for a breath or two. And then on your next breath in, rise to Tadasana. Bend those knees, palms towards the heart center. One last time. Inhale, sweep it up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, sweep the arms out and up. Chaturanga. I lied to you. Hold. Can you find more places to relax? More places to allow that shake and shimmy? Let it be messy. How beautiful is that? And then on your next breath in, cobra. Exhale when you're ready, down dog. Inhale, rise up, Tadasana. Beautiful. Wonderful, wonderful. You made it, friend. Let's do some twisting before we end our practice. So on an inhale, sweep your arms out and up if you'd like. As you exhale, left hand to right knee, right hand sweeps behind you. Now you might grab your couch or chair, you might just let it hang in limbo, but we're gonna use our hands as anchors to help turn the heart and shoulders. Then you're just gonna gaze over the back of that right shoulder if the neck says yes. Big twist here. And then I'm going to recommend, if you have this right arm anchored back here, you might lift this left arm and just continue that rotation like you want to reach both hands on the back of the chair. Just exploring what your body needs in this moment. Noticing how a deep breath into the body changes the sensation of this twist. Just noticing. And then when you're ready, releasing. Twists are so delicious. On an inhale, arms out and up. Exhale, switch sides. Take your time anchoring and inviting the body into this twist. As you look over that back shoulder. Can we let the shoulders weight down towards the earth? Can you breathe deep into the belly and the heart center here? We're imagining we're squeezing out all the stagnant blood from our organs, right? Anything that hasn't been pushed through. And then when we release, fresh blood, fresh oxygen to these spaces. What a beautiful thing. Let's take a minute to do a shavasana of our choice. Now, if you've got a couch like me, you might just lay back for it. I'm not here to tell you what to do. Traditionally seated, I'll just sit back in my chair, rest my hands in my lap, and then tuck my chin in towards the heart. But decide where you want to be. Someone's power washing outside. So this will be an extra special shavasana. Because the world turns around us. The world remains loud. The world remains always vying for our attention. And here in this moment, we let go of the noise and the distractions around us. And we meet ourselves back in our body one last time. Find your breath as you soften into your seat. As you relax every muscle from the tip of your head and your nose down through the belly all the way to the toes. You might begin to notice the rise and the fall of your breath here. The jaw is soft, the shoulders are soft. As you breathe, sweet, nourishing oxygen into the belly and lungs. Your work today on your Svedasana, on your sacral chakra, on your, sacral chakra. I don't know why words are eluding me today. Know that the whole purpose of our yoga practice and all that yoga wants you to understand with your sacral chakra is that it's beautiful, that it's yours, that however you choose to express yourself and hold yourself, that it is enough, that you belong exactly as you are. There is space for you here. That is what your sacral chakra says to you. That is the energy you spent releasing, exploring, and allowing to move through you this morning. And as you move through the rest of your day, the rest of your week, take that energy with you. Continue those hip rolls. Continue to find playful, delicious self-expression. And remember that the light and the dark in me sees the light and the dark in you. And we are the same. As you begin to awaken your physical body from your practice, take it nice and slow. Let it be a delicious continuation of your self-exploration that you've been doing. Take time to move, shift, wiggle, twist in any way that the body might be asking for it. Whew. Thank you for practicing with me this morning. Thank you for meeting yourself here. This isn't easy work. It is often the first thing I don't want to do when life gets hard. So the fact that we are meeting ourselves here and doing this is powerful. Own that here. Know that that is a gift you give yourself, not me. Thank you for changing the world with me, because that's what this is.